a little bit sooner. That's something that we can probably look forward to, and as just a little bit more of an advantage at her side as well. So there's a couple of DPS threats, and I do value that as the game goes later, the Scion and the Trundle will begin to be able to just get churned through.
Speaking of the Scion, could be in trouble as Breathe already used the public execution to snack Flandra out of the decimating smash, but Tarzan might have arrived a little too late. He does have to watch his top laner fall, but should be able to at least clean back one onto Breathe as Flandra's trying to beat him down.
It's so close!
Passive great flash from Tarzan! Drops the aggro
once again, and I think that fortunately there's no real contest for neutral objectives, so not having an ult, not particularly going to ult for ult, and hopefully those trades will end up being, you know, beneficial for Weibo in those situations, but they see Chris.
Oh no, and look at that, the Poppy Trundle Pillar combo worked so beautifully. Chris cannot even escape.
Waiting. This Poppy Trundle combo, I mean, one of the benefits that AL were leveraging so frequently in Split 2 was there.
Try and contest Weibo on this Rift Herald. They're just going to use the power of those 3 grubs they got earlier and look for the first brick of the game right on this bottom side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is gone, right? Like, this is Trundle trying to take turrets. Does it very easily. This is also looking at the power of 3 grubs plus the Trinity Force. They're absolutely fine to try and take this trade. Now, Rift Herald is probably going to get summoned, but they're looking to collapse here.
He's sending it. He knows that Weibo were trying to get a turret back in the mid lane. Great unstoppable onslaught right onto Light. Able to distance himself away, but here comes the rest of the onslaught.
Triple shove.
Weibo, big seismic shove, but Keeper's Verdict winds up and punts away one member. Shockwave is flashed by Breathe, but Tien is left isolated. And that means through the armor until they get to those Black Cleaver power spikes as Light might be in trouble here. No flash from the prior fight. Hope just annihilated him.
Light getting picked out there. A pretty uncharacteristic death, but one that he cannot afford all the while. Crisp now forced to ult.
Seismic shove on the Tarzan, but he's so damn tanky thanks to the use of the Subjugate, and the Great Pillar forces Tien to be in a bad spot. And
Corki's just Wing forward into the face of Talia, into the face of Sivir, into the face of his Xin Zhao, dashing into the Crescent Guard so that he...
lead. What once was just 2,000, 3,000, now effectively a 4,000 gold lead, and they're looking for more. Breathe using public execution to reposition so he can get into the tri-bush. The Pillar's not as deceptive as it could have been, but Breathe's still going to get run down anyway because Tarzan is just too damn fast.
Pretty disrespectful, to be honest. I'm Breathe, Tien, or Light looking at this. I'm like, oh, Trundle's built butter for me, but he still just kills me. What's happening?
And they get the wall slam right on top of Tien, so now there's no smite contest coming in anytime soon from Waybo Gaming unless Chris can swap to it with his unsealed spellbook, but it's going to be a tough task to be able to pull off, and Waybo, down in man, have no means necessary to be able to really steal this Otacon away from anyone's legend, so this objective once again
during this time, so he's going to be able to take the tier 1 turret on that top side and get a little bit of gold back for himself. But again, we look at this in the grand scheme of things. This is a very thin silver lining across an absolute storm of clouds that are Wave player again. Just speaks to the pretty shocking state of affairs that you're currently finding yourself in.
Try to stop him, but Flandra picks a nice angle for the unstoppable onslaught, and he's just going to send it into the base. And all right, well, I guess we'll give the kill over to Light potentially here. Flandra is just going to try and stall for as much time as possible. And you know what? He's doing a pretty darn good job of doing that because the rest of anyone's legend is pushing up waves on the top side. They're taking a turret in the mid lane, or at least prepping for it.
Tien, you need to help this guy.
Minion wave, and he's getting another minion wave too. Flandra is so goated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he had to resign himself to death there. I think that he could have maybe tried to run, get a little bit of help from his team, and now AL maybe in a little bit of trouble with the Weaver's Wall.
Okay, Tarzan forced a flash over that one. Doesn't want to drop the shutdown bounty. Kyle might be in a sticky situation as well. Making this game very fast-paced. They can just easily start it right on spawn. They have a window where there'll still be another minute before the dragon spawns. Tarzan might be caught out here. Remember, he already used flash for the other Weaver's Wall pickoff, and this could be really big. Unstoppable onslaught from Flandra tries to stall the fight as long as possible. It's a big shutdown and goes into the pockets of Light. Shanks trying to flank with this shockwave. Still hasn't pulled the trigger quite yet. Kyle gets dropped by Tien. Weibo trying to pull a miracle. The shockwave only catches one on the Xiaohu, but doesn't drop him. And Hope cannot get into this fight. He's trying to play around Shanks' range, but the rest of Waybo Gaming are playing with absolute fire. But Hope blows up. Crisp, and now looking to turn tail onto Xiaohu. Everyone is so low. Hope has to go forward, but he's baited in by Waybo.
He's doing it.
Breathe, and he drops Light as well. Xiao!
So he's able to just sit back, provide that little bit of support, use the ball from the Orianna, and keep everybody alive.
The evolution of Hope over the course of this 2025 season has been
Incredibly well sought after, but just not that top tier. And now Weibo, though, they're looking to fight once again.
Kyle winding up the hammer for the keeper's verdict, punts away one as they slam Tien into the wall. The Crescent Guard not going to be able to block as much damage because they're all right on top of him. Breathe rejoins the fight. Chris trying to do as much as he can, but the Shockwave is great. It catches Light and Crispin, the Folly, and Weibo are now running for their lives. Xiaohu tries to distance himself away with the Weaver's Wall and trying to kite as he throws rock after rock, but those rocks ain't doing shit as anyone's legend wipe the floor with Waybo Gaming and they push in for the base win.
Clean ace. Game number 1 goes to AL. Weibo tried as they might. They fought back in this game, but they weren't able to do the work. A great keeper's verdict from Kyle, and now they'll do the victory march.
AL had a lot to say after their loss against BLG last night, and the way they are stomping Weibo in this first game leaves a lot for promising in the series to come. AL lead the series 1-0.
Trying to keep himself alive more so than anything, and when there's so much maneuverability, the chance for banana combos from Shanks definitely quite high, as it definitely isn't going to be easy for him to pick out a single target and isolate them with that. In this game specifically, they've clearly been able to manufacture a method for trading down on that bot side. There's ulti mid, traded. So to continue the point that whenever we're seeing Hope hold that 4th shot, that's when Kyle walks forward and threatens. Always looking for these short order trades, and now Kyle's here.
Immediate flash W right on top of Tien. The Q flash follow up from Kyle, and Tien doesn't have level 6 yet. He tries to flash away, goes back in with the Vault Breaker, using the strength of Breathe and Chris to try and turn this fight around. And unfortunately for AL, they thought they had the big pick, but they just overplayed their hand, and it's first blood for Weibo.
Yeah, and now, you know, a little bit of trouble here for Hope. His level 6 on Light means he's probably going to go jumping in.
Yeah, Hope has Barrier and Flash, but Light will commit both Summoner spells. Oh!
Takes him down.
No. And now Shanks might be in trouble as well. No Fate Seal. He's forced to flash
out to safety for now, but Tien is lurking.
No.
Cease and desist available. Good night, Brother Flandre.
Incoming. Ball Breaker will connect, and they know that Flandre doesn't have flash from the prior gank set up just a few minutes before on that top side. And Flandre will once again try and run Tien around, stalling as much time as he can, but eventually it does
do that pretty darn quickly. Taking that Executioner's Calling early on for the Yorick as well, so that he can try and alleviate some of the sustained concerns of a Cho'Gath, as Crisp is absolutely fine on this Rakan, should just be able to hop out over the wall with Battle Dance to Xiaohu, but the 3 grubs are secured by AL.
Fate sealed. It is interrupted by Tien on the other side, so now Shanks has to wind up that 3rd Q so that he can get over the wall, but he commits for the kill onto Tien, but the Emperor's Divide pushes them and pins them against the wall. Curtain Call from Hope trying to find some bullets here for some damage. Kyle doing as much work as he can, but he is just a support.
It's collected a little bit earlier on.
Yep. And that could be the difference maker in delaying AL from it.
Yeah, and Tarzan here, just all the while, clearing his bot side camps, recalling here, not really having any impact on what's going on this top side.
Kyle forced to crash down away from danger. 4,000 HP on the Rift Tail. Tarzan is about to step up. You got to be careful when contesting a Maokai, because that Bramble Smash plus
now they're pinned. Now they're pinned.
The Cho'Gath Feast. That's a Rift Tail guaranteed. Kyle trying to catch Xiaohu. He flashes away. Chris with the quickness doesn't really grab anyone. Tien forced with the cease and desist as Hope is now pinned into the pit. Tarzan is taken out by the rest of Waybo Gaming members. Now it's just going to be everyone trying to flash over the wall, or for Shank's case, trying to Q3, but he gets bursted and deleted.
They can, the Kai'Sa, you know, so frequently dependent on having that tier 1 turret available, but not sure that they're going to be able to take this as easily as they think. The Herald does charge, but the Dragon going down, they know that their time in the mid lane is not free for much longer. Whether or not Weibo tend to contest them or not, we will have to wait and see, but looks like it could be a trade. Xiaohu again has time on that bot side if they want to go for the tier 1 turret in bot lane, but 5 members of AL are strong here.
Yeah, Tarzan threw out the ultimate, just trying to control the defense of this turret, but Kyle gets snagged by the quickness. Flandre eats Chris for breakfast, and now the rest of AL have got to run. Here comes Xiaohu, who's going to look for the Emperor's Divide angle. Tarzan tries to step up and slow him in his tracks, but he's just autoing with the Sand Soldiers. He doesn't even need to swoop in with the Emperor's Divide. Flandre gets picked off here by the Dark Procession. A good knockup with the Rupture only just delays the inevitable, and Waybo Gaming continuing to run the show.
Yeah, 3 for 2 here, but it's the way that the wave is set and the way that that fight looks That means that AL are very strong, and another late flash. Tarzan falls, and Light, just with a fully channeled Acathian Rain, melts the tree.
What is going on with AL? They are heavily disrespecting Weibo in a lot of these situations. Hope, he's just gonna get soloed by Light. The Baron comes out, but one more auto attack. That's the power of the Kraken Slayer Kaisa.
Guys, Game 1 AL is looking good. Game 2 AL, we have different stories. We have different answers for you, okay? It is 12-3. They are 19 minutes into this game, and they're down 5, looking at 6k gold.
Labor being able to contest and get the better of AL in a lot of these early skirmish scenarios. Attempted Deadly Flourish does not find the lucky steal. Weibo securing the Otacon, now mostly with their carries on 2 items, as Chris is going to send it, charming up Tarzan with the quickness. Shanks trying to flip the heads. Okay, wait, Tien just got bursted. 5-on-4 now in favor of AL. This could be bad. Light caught up by the Magnet Storm, trying to use the Killer Instinct to reposition. He does escape, but now the target is Breathe. He's in trouble, and he gets bursted and feasted upon by Flandra's Shogap. Good rupture.
Double knock up.
The Q to knock up the bounce house. It's so massive. Xiao who tries to bounce Tarzan right back into his tower, but Weibo still relying on the hopes of their mid laner Tiger trying to survive, and at least he takes out Tarzan without dropping. But that is a sign of hope for AL in this game too.
And completely against the run of player off, and they just... Well, right here, AL perform once again.
Flandra might be caught out here. No flash available. The Empress Divide will push him back into the waiting arms of Tien. And no one is coming from the side of anyone's legend anytime soon, so Flandra will eventually go down. But to comment on that fight, this is something that we have seen Weibo done this very split. Oh, Hope might be in trouble now, but Kaio's here for reinforcements. Q into the Deadly Flourish, stuns him up. Hope trying to kite this one out. Shanks TP's right on top of it. Light just sent a solo mission just to die and hand another kill over to anyone's legend's hands. Xiaohu's gonna try to push on the top side of the map for a tier 2 turret, but that gives the Dragon over to AL.
And this is one of the concerns, the problems that Light has had on this Kai'Sa, trying to take the game into his hands just a little too liberally. Didn't have the vision, didn't have the knowledge as Tien goes in.
No, okay, cease and desist, but he's gonna dive for this one and not even getting a chance to get
Tien here as he's given over another kill. Maybe if he steals that Drake, he can say it's worth, but even then, not really the case, as now Breathe getting zoned away from this turret. AL are going to take this one as Flandra. Has he gone too close? Man. Nope, he's absolutely fine. So they're going to know that something is potentially awry here. They'll make their way in.
Okay, Crisp and Tien link up. Nicely done. They pop Tarzan.
For Tarzan's respawn, and hopefully get a bit of a steal to come through as well. But it's getting melted. It's Kai'Sa Azir. They have no way in.
4,000. Wait, Flandra's about to just walk up and down smash the Magnet Storm. Flandra, okay, it is secured by Breathe out of all players, but Hope just takes out Tien. Light is on the retreat.
Attempts to take this tier 2 turret and maybe try to restore some sort of fight power once again to themselves.
You can at least use the Baron to guarantee push in all these waves neighboring the Dragon so that they can put themselves on soul point, but the thing that I'm still concerned about is if Weibo don't find maybe a miracle fight here to just force the game, Shanks is about to back with an Infinity Edge power spike in his back pocket. He's going to play for this wave, going to try to play for that turret. 5,000 didn't feel like it was significant enough when they dropped those random kills in the mid-game to try and just make it irrecoverable for AL.
Okay, so they do manage to break open the base, but they're fighting mid lane as a little bit of a bait here. They're trying to take down the turret, and they lose the inhibitor in the bot side. They're going to lose out on the turret in the mid lane as well. And the poke from the Kai'Sa are going to begin to start coming through with these Void Seekers. Xiaohu, once again, I want to highlight the mid lane dominance.
He goes golden. He was caught by the Deadly Flourish. The Rupture forces the flash out of him. Shank sends it with the Fate Seal. It has to immediately retreat back. He is caught. Xiaohu punishes, and AR now on the retreat. They have to believe in the power of Hope in Flandra and Tarzan, but Flandra drops. It's now just down to Tarzan. Xiaohu sends it! The Summer Tiger will sink his fangs into anyone's Legend's last hope, and Weibo are going to bring us to Game 3 in the series.
7-0 and 9. Xiaohu with a mammoth performance from start to finish. Force us to Game 3. And you know, this is a little bit weird to look at, but it keeps the victor in place a little bit, I guess. And I think this is just Tarzan feeling like he's not got too many options left in the pool, and I think if they, you know, go for in
terms of priority in this wave, despite being down a lot of HP to Shanks, and he knows that Shanks can't really offer much since he's already sold the ultimate. Whoa, Kael was trying to yoink away that. It is secured by AL, but now Tien's here. There is no ward that can see it since it is blocked out by the control, or the control ward, and anyone's legend will secure all 3 grubs.
It's going to need to be played a lot smoother than they did in game number 2, because they should struggle as the game gets later.
Uh-oh, Shanks in trouble. Tien already benefiting off of the Xiaohu chunk onto Shanks, and that is just an easy...
Flandre dodged 3 out of 4 Qs there. So you'll notice that there wasn't a second knockup that came through from Breathe, and that's because he literally only hit 1 Q. So they start the Herald now, and expect that teleport to come through once Flandre has finished his recall.
Okay, this isn't a 225 Smolder, but he can stack up a lot in this fight if they play it out well. 4,000 HP for Tien on the Rift Herald. Tempered Fate onto Crisp. 2,000 HP on the Rift Herald. Here comes Mom, but it's blocked by Crisp. And Rift Herald is secured by Tien. They get the Rift Herald Eye, but now Waybo Gaming has to be careful because they're all backed up into the pit. But Tien is looking for hope on the Lucian, the barrier, but the Fear Tether allows Tien to close the distance and take out the Lucian from this fight. Now everyone from anyone's legend has to retreat. Or not. Kael has the magical journey, but now it takes him to where Tarzan is lying in wait. They drop the ward in, and now Tarzan's position has been compromised. He is forced to use the EQ over the wall. Kael flashes out. Tarzan trying to still see if he can get in range and force a steal on this dragon, but it's secured by Tien. Shanks on the flank path, drops the Chaos Storm, but the Paranoia separates them once again. Cataclysm trying to force something onto Chris. Breathe brings Tarzan right back with the all-out. Light goes in with the Arcane Shift, firing Mystic shots one after another, but they take down Breathe. Shanks going for the re-engage. Upgun upduct as Flandre flashes in. The tether for the Fear, but he pops Crisp in the backline, and Tien is isolated. They take out to make sure that the Rift Herald does not get an effective charge. Tarzan maybe caught out of position, still has the EQ as he is feared by Tien, but they are looking for the chase. Xiaohu doesn't have a flash. Easy Cataclysm set up. They're all sitting ducks, and Flandre can just shoot them all down like fish in a barrel. Waybo Gaming drop 2 in exchange for Tarzan. You can see that their desire to contest this dragon is slowly starting to drop as Tien is now trying to force the issue, pushing in the mid-wave. Yeah, spotted on the mid-wave, but he has ulti to get here if he needs to. Oh, Tarzan got way too close! He's dropped immediately by Xiaohu, but the culling is doing a lot of work, and you see that the execute is threatening them, but this could be enough for Tien to turn it around. He forces way too deep. He flashes back to safety. The Ocean Soul should be secured for Weibo. No contest available from anyone's legend. The 4 route, because Ocean Soul does favor extended fights. It's so nice for Weibo that there's not a lot of strong burst that can just one-shot these members from Weibo with impunity. It is extended trades, but that just plays into the strength of Ocean Soul. And how do AL ever get on top of an Ezreal in particular? I think the Light as well can have a big game. Oh, Cataclysm, but the Tempered Fate is going to stall that fight for a little bit longer. Tien pops the Paranoia. Maybe they can turn their focus onto the Nocturne itself. Kael in the middle of nowhere, but Flandre pops the first one onto Chris, but it is dropped over to Kael as well. 4v4. Our Tarzan sends it into the backline with the EQ. Flandre, can he cook with this Smolder? He's getting them critically low. Will the execute come through? Breathe is still staying low. The power of the Ocean Soul is sustaining them well. Flandre now in the middle of 1v4. Shanks trying to bail him out with the slow of the Q. They find Xiaohu, but now Flandre is pinned. Breathe takes them all out over the other side of the wall, and the baby dragon is destroyed. Hope, the last one standing under the tower, immediately done away by Weibo, and now they can take their prize in the Otacon. Never has there been a better example of why souls win games. Weibo took so much damage during that fight, but they just sustained it all up. The Ocean Soul was working overtime for them. The fight took about 30 seconds from start to finish. Constant procs of the Ocean Soul, and now the Atacon will be their prize. Good smite by Tien. Armor and extra ability haste, or a Randuin's just to negate some of the early crit damage, which I take that back. Not really any crit damage on some of the marksmen here from Waybo Gaming as... Oh no! Tarzan just gets blown up! Maybe there, but Kael finds 2 with a Tempered Fate. Xiaohu zoning with a Chaos Storm. Mom comes through, and it feels like it just tickles Xiaohu. the Chaos Storm trying to bring them lower and lower, but it's not going to be the case. Tien sends it with the Paranoia deep into Shanks and Flandra, trying to kite their way out to victory here, but Shanks forced to flash away. He's on the retreat path. Tarzan comes back up, but the All Out will bring Kyle into the waiting arms of Waybo Gaming.
The game is so much higher for AL. They are just so freely able to walk through this jungle without any care in the world, and now Breathe is looking on a wrap, and AL, they've been caught.
Oh no, and Shanks could be the first target to fall. Waybo trying to press for their advantage. Good Glacial Fissure will stall Waybo on their pursuit. Hope cannot save the mid-tier 2 turret from falling, as Weibo now trying to find another angle. Elder has spawned. That is what they're trying to bait anyone's legend into. Breathe goes all out, brings one member forward. Tien turns out the lights with the Paranoia. Hope steps up onto the front line. Flandra trying to create space with his own damage on the Smolder as well. Chris almost brought low enough with the execute threshold, but not enough to die, as the rest of Weibo don't find another man outside of Kyle. Tarzan jumps into Xiaohu, forces the Cataclysm, flashes out. Shanks trying to send it, but no one can follow up. Flandra's being pinned by Breathe. They can't get the execute. Hope falls. Shanks neck. Weibo will stand up to the might of anyone's legend. Not even Flandra's Smolder counterpick will save them this time. It's a full team ace. Not a single member dropped from Weibo. They're about to knock out anyone's legend with a 2-1 and put themselves at 3-1 in the standings.
And 6 feet deep go AL. Waybo Gaming claw back from the victory that they desired so desperately versus top. They find it against AL and beat the reigning champions.